Hi, this is Jaya. In this video, we shall see the summary of The Rivals, a play by Richard B. Sheridan. The play is set in 18th century Bath, which is a place in England, and the plot centers on the two young lovers, Lydia and Jack. Lydia reads lots of popular romantic novels and wants to have a purely romantic love affair. Understanding this, and in order to court her, Jack, who is in love with her, pretends to be Ensign Beverly, who is a poor army officer. Lydia is enthralled with an idea of falling in love with a poor soldier and eloping with him, knowing fully well that it will only lead to the objection of her guardian, Mrs. Malaprop, who is a moralistic widow, and also she knows very well that if she elopes like this, she will not be getting majority of her property. Lydia has two other suitors. One is Bob Acres, a buffoonish country gentleman, and Sir Lucius O'Trigger, who is an impoverished and combative Irish gentleman. Sir Lucius pays Lucy, who is a servant of Mrs. Malaprop, to carry love notes between him and Lydia, and he receives letter from Lydia under the name Delia. But actually, Lucy is swindling him. Like she takes money from him and she delivers to the letters to Mrs. Malaprop, and it is Mrs. Malaprop who is writing letters to him under the name of Delia. The play opens with Sir Anthony arriving suddenly in Bath. He says he has arranged a marriage for Jack, but Jack says he is in love already. They quarrel violently. But Jack soon learns through the gossip of Lucy and Fag that the marriage arranged by Sir Anthony is in fact with Lydia. So he submits to his father and is present to Lydia with Mrs. Malaprop's blessing. Jack confides to Lydia that he is only posing as Sir Anthony's son. She annoys Mrs. Malaprop by loudly professing a eternal devotion to Beverly while rejecting Jack absolute. Jack's friend Falkland is in love with Julia, but he suffers from jealous suspicion. He is constantly fretting himself about her fidelity. Falkland and Julia quarrel foolishly, making elaborate and high-flown speeches about true love. Bob Acres tells Sir Lucius that Beverly is courting Lydia. Sir Lucius immediately declares that Acres must challenge Beverly to a duel and kill him. Acres goes along and writes out a challenge note despite his own rather more pacifist feelings and the profound misgivings of his servant David. Sir Lucius leaves. Jack arrives and Acres tells him of his intent. Jack agrees to deliver the note to Beverly but declines to be Acres' second. Mrs. Malaprop again presents Jack to Lydia, but this time with Sir Anthony present, exposing Jack's pose as Beverly. Lydia gets angry, for now her romantic dreams are punctured, and therefore she rejects Jack. Sir Lucius has also learned of the proposed marriage of Jack and Lydia and determines to challenge Jack. He meets Jack, who, smarting from Lydia's rejection, agrees to fight him without even knowing the reason. They decide to meet at the same time as Acres has scheduled the fight with Beverly. At the dueling ground, Acres is very reluctant to fight, but Sir Lucius will have no shirking. Jack and Falkland arrive. Acres learns that Beverly is actually his friend Jack and begs off from the duel. However, Jack is quite willing to fight Sir Lucius and they cross swords. David informs Mrs. Malaprop, Lydia, Julia, and Sir Anthony of the duel, and they all rush to stop the fight. Sir Lucius explains the cause of his challenge, saying that he has received letters from Lydia under the name of Delia. But Lydia denies any connection to him and admits her love for Jack. Mrs. Malaprop then announces that she is Delia, but Sir Lucius recoils in horror, realizing that he has been hoaxed. Sir Anthony consoles Mrs. Malaprop. Julia is reconciled to Falkland, and Acres invites everyone to a party, and the play ends here. If you have anything more to add on to what I've said, please write it in the comment box. Like the video, share it with your friends, and if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe and support. Thank you.